So let's talk solid versus engineered. Solid hardwood floors are 3/4 of an inch thick. They are simply thin slices of a tree that have been molded and planed. The long sides of the boards have a tongue on the front and a groove on the back. The ends have the same system. This is called end matching. Finally, solid hardwood floors have grooves cut through the bottoms to relieve the side-to-side pressure on the board and to keep them from warping. This helps them stay straight until they're installed. You can get solids starting in as thin as about 3/4 of an inch wide, so that would be a square, 3/4 thick, 3/4 wide, all the way up to about a foot. Although most mills are only going to sell you up to about 10 inches in solid, and that's because past 10 and especially past 12, solids tend to have problems with warping. As far as lengths go, this will be completely dependent on the mill and the grade of lumber. The wear layer on solid wood floors is usually about a 1/4 inch thick or 6 millimeters. And that wear layer is the part on the top that can be sanded. Let's talk engineered. Engineered flooring is anywhere from about 3/8, so real thin, up to the full 3/4, like solid. This type of hardwood flooring will look the same from the top as solid hardwood. It's really a thin piece of hardwood veneer glued to a plywood backing. That plywood makes up the bulk of the thickness. They also have the same tongue and groove system and end matching. Engineered hardwoods usually start around 3 inches wide, and the widest you can get with engineers actually all the way up to like 20 inches. And this is uncommon, but you can find it. Lengths will be determined solely by the quality of the mill and the grade of that top veneer, just like in solid. Engineered hardwoods are available in both pre-finished and unfinished. Solid hardwoods are also available in both. So we are going to rate them in 4 categories on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being poor, 5 being excellent. Now, this is not incredibly scientific. This is just going off of our experience as a company. The first category is going to be ease of installation. The second will be stability over time. And the third will be lifespan. And the fourth will be price. These are the most important factors when you're choosing your flooring. So, number 1, ease of installation. This really depends on how well the boards fit together. The cheaper mills produce flooring that is almost impossible to install completely tight. This is true for both engineered and solid. That being said, solids will always be somewhat harder to install. That is because they naturally are going to have some bend to them when they come out of the bundle. This is not a problem whatsoever because once it's installed, the floor beneath it holds it straight. The tighter you can get a floor on installation, the longer its lifespan will be. Large gaps between boards are a sure sign of a poor installation and a floor that will squeak and move. And if it squeaks and moves, it's going to wear out faster. Engineered flooring does not typically warp due to its plywood backing. This results in a floor that, even from a cheaper mill, generally clicks together more easily. Ease of installation, we've got to give engineered a 5. It goes together really nice, and we'll have to give solid a 3. Second category, stability. Stability is not something that will probably cross your mind until you have a moisture fluctuation. When there is an increase in moisture, hardwood floors will swell and the edges are going to raise, kind of like an earthquake pushing 2 pieces of the earth's crust together, and they poke up. If it's just a little bit, they're only going to raise slightly. If there's a massive increase in moisture with both solid and engineered, it will massively cup your floor and your floor will fail. The nails will start to pull out and no amount of sanding can fix that. In the areas where the seasons have large fluctuations in temperature and humidity, for example, where we work out of in Southwest Michigan, you will oftentimes see in the winter, the floors will gap. In the summer, the edges will just push up slightly. This can be mitigated by excellent humidity and temperature control in the house. The wider the planks are, the larger the differences in swelling and shrinkage will be. It's not uncommon for us to refinish a home with 5-inch wide solid floors, and the gaps are 1/8 of an inch wide in the winter and severe swelling in the summer. Just to give you some perspective, you could slide 2 quarters next to each other down into these gaps. Engineered flooring is made largely of plywood with hardwood laminated or glued to the top. Since plywood is very stable by nature, engineered hardwoods are always much more stable than solids. Now, we won't get deep into this. There are certain milling methods, such as rift and quarter sawn lumber, that will really increase the stability of solids. But overall, the plywood backing gives an engineered floor a large boost in stability. So we will have to give engineered a 5 for stability, and we'll have to give solid a 3. All right, moving on to our third category, durability. Durability comes down to thickness. Of course, there are other things like installation method and species, but those are factors that fall outside of what we're analyzing here. You can get both solid and engineered and soft species and hard species, and you can do a poor installation job or an excellent one. So we're just not going to talk about that in this video. Engineered floors that are less than 5/8 thick are usually throwaway floors. The manufacturer may say that it can be refinished with a 1, 2, or 3 millimeter wear layer, but only a daring homeowner or contractor will attempt these. If you sand too deep, the plywood appears and it's going to look awful. It can be done, however. 5/8 thick engineered floors from a quality mill will have a wear layer of generally 4 millimeters, and you want to double check this because sometimes they'll be sneaky with you, and it's still a thin veneer up top, but it's a thick piece of flooring. There's no benefit to that. 3/4 inch thick engineered floors will almost always have a wear layer of about 6 millimeters. Sometimes it's 5.5. Either way, it's close to that. So solid hardwood floors always have a wear layer of about 6 millimeters or 1/4 inch. This will allow for 5 to 6 sandings. The average floor needs refinished about every 10 years, depending on how much wear and tear it gets. Some floors need to be refinished every 5, where other floors can go 20 to 30 years. This really just depends on how it's treated. In a commercial store, how long would you expect a floor to last versus an elderly couple with no pets and no grandchildren? Measuring lifespan of a floor is hard because it's like trying to measure a car by its age only. If you just measured a car by its age and no miles, then you could never have an accurate read on what a car was worth, because the miles are what take away from the value just as much, if not more, than its age. You can see that if a floor needs refinished about every 10 years and it can get 5 to 6 sandings, we're talking about full 3/4 inch solid or 3/4 inch engineered with a 6 millimeter wear layer, you can see that these are lifetime floors. Now, engineered has not been around quite long enough to see if it's going to last for 100 years like these solid floors do. Now, we regularly refinish solid flooring that's from the 1800s. So to rank these in durability, we're going to give both of them a 5. Now remember, that only counts for the quality 6 millimeter wear layer in the engineer. The wear layers that are thinner than that, they get considerably worse durability scores. And the ones that are under 4 millimeter, I'd give them a 0. Don't buy them. Finally, let's talk price, because that's a big factor for most people. When we're considering this, again, we're only going to consider a high-end engineered floor with that full 6 millimeter wear layer. You're probably tired of me saying that, but I just want to be clear. Engineered flooring is almost always at least 20% more expensive. And that's because it's more labor intensive to make. It takes more machines in the factory. You've got extra steps in the process. So even though it takes less of the hardwood, it takes a nice high grade plywood, a Baltic birch preferably, and that is why it's always more money. Now, solid, on the other hand, is usually about 20% cheaper. We'll have to give solid an average of 4 out of 5 across the board when we tally all these up, and engineered gets an average of 4.75 across the board. So here's the breakdown to sum it up in a couple sentences. If you want wider widths over 4 inch, we recommend you go with an engineered floor if you can afford it. If you want a more standard thickness floor, maybe 2 1/4, 3 1/4 wide, or 4 inch, we recommend just sticking with the solid. It will save you money and you'll be just as happy with it in the long run. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and tell us what you think down below.